Hey everyone, I want to show you how to talk about past habits in this video. So, we know we can use simple past, past progressive, past perfect, present perfect, all those different forms to talk about the past. But sometimes we want to talk about the past in a way that helps us to explain something that happened before again and again and again and again and doesn't happen anymore. When we want to do that, we use used to plus the base form of a verb. It's two parts. Used to plus the base form of any verb when we want to express past habits in the past. So first, let me show you how to do this with an affirmative statement. Okay, so he used to take the bus as a child. The school bus. He took the school bus every day going to school. So the best way to say that is he used to plus take, base form. He used to take the bus as a child. When I read that sentence, I imagine that this event, this action happened again and again and again and again and again because of used to, okay? To make that negative, you need help. You need a helping verb. So we're talking about the past. We need the past tense of do. That's did. He did not, or just push them together. And you can say he didn't used to take the bus as a child. He didn't have that habit or routine. He didn't do that. So notice for negative, I use a helping verb in the past tense, and then I add not, and then I use used to. But notice here there's a D, here there is no D, okay? I have seen books that said it's okay, but after this verb is already changed to agree with the subject, it has the time on it, you just need the base form of use. Didn't used to, after to, we're using the base form again, okay? So, he didn't used to take the bus. How about a question? With a question, you need a helping verb. It's going to be did. Did he used to take the bus? Did he, so here's our verb, subject, used to, plus base form. Did he used to take the bus? Now remember, for questions, we always change the order of the subject and verb, and we start with the verb and then we have the subject. So this is what it looks like to make statements, negative statements and questions using used to. But let's look more at when we use it. When do we use used to? So as you know, we use used to talk about past habits that don't continue anymore, right? When I was a child, I used to go to swim practice every day. When I was a child, I used to do my homework at night. I don't do any of those things anymore. It's done, okay? But they were habits in the past. We also use used to when we really want to contrast and show the difference between the present and the past. So when we want to show the difference, right? So when I was young, I used to have short hair. I used to have short hair. But now I don't, or now I have long hair, you can see. So oftentimes when we want to show the difference between now and the past, we will use used to, okay? Yeah, in my town, when I was growing up, yeah, there used to be a big Halloween parade, but now there's nothing. Okay, so yay in the past, sad now. That's the emotion you see in that difference. But I make the difference more clear from present to past because of used to. Okay, something else that is important is we use used to introduce like a story about past habits, okay? So introduce a story with past habits. So let me explain what I mean by that. So here's what I mean by that. I used to swim a lot when I was a child. That's my introduction to my story that I'm about to tell you. I used to swim a lot when I was a child. I would go to the pool every day at 4 p.m. We would get in the water. We would swim many laps. And finally, we would get out and go home after 2 hours. Okay, let me explain. Here's my short little story about past habits. I used to swim a lot when I was a child. I would go to the pool every day at 4 p.m. We would get in the water. We would swim many laps. Finally, we would get out and go home after 2 hours. I'm using used to at the beginning to show the listener that I'm talking about a habit. But then later I switch from used to and I start using would plus base form. Would go, would get in, would swim, would get out. I'm using would now in the middle of the story to talk about the next habits that I did in the past, but I used to as the introduction before I got more specific. So that's what I mean by I introduce the story about past habits with used to. And then finally, the last thing I want to say about past habits is that we don't just have to use used to. We can also use would to talk about past habits, but we would never start a story about past habits with would. I would swim a lot when I was a child. Nope, doesn't work. You have to start with used to, and then you continue your story about past habits using would, used to. That's fine. Okay? And that is all I really need to say about used to and would. And I hope that this helps you out. Of course, don't just study the rules. You actually need to read and use the language to get really good at it. Bye-bye.